Okay, but starting out here, we have people here for lots of different reasons. So we'll just find out what you're here today to do. Are you here to help with something, to get help repairing something, or to observe and to learn more? I'll just give you a few seconds here. All right, let's see what people are here to do. We still have a few participants we're waiting on, I see. This helps me. Good. Okay. So we can see we have people here for a lot of different things. We have a lot of people that are here to see what this is all about, how to run these virtual repairs, or to learn more about repair. We have two types of learning here. We also have people here to repair a few. We have a few more coming, so we have 8 participants who have signed up to get help with repairing something today. And then we have a lot of repairers from all over the world. So we have my own colleagues here from Repair Cafe Malmö, Ulf, and now Hannes has joined us as well. We also have a large contingent in Europe from Belgium here, welcome. And we have a lot of Americans here. So that's great to see you all from across the pond coming and joining us at this event. And what the format today is gonna be that we're gonna start going through the repairs and the people that have come to present something to get help with repair. We're going to spend about 5 to 10 minutes on each. That doesn't mean that we finish it in that time. At the end of going through each of the people that have come to get something, to get some advice and help repairing, we will offer the breakout rooms for a more deep dive repair if anybody wants to continue, both repairers and people who have come and think that they can get some more advice and more help. The breakout rooms where we can have a smaller group, a few repairers in there with you and walking you through what else you can do. But we want first just to have the presentation and a few of the first step advice. And so yeah, I will be asking everybody to unmute themselves when they're a presenter, and I'll ask you first, we're gonna go the furthest afield that we have here today. We have Purna from Bangalore. Purna, is your internet working better now? Let's check on that first.
Who are you talking to?
Purna from Bangalore. Let me see. I can see if we have her here. She was having trouble with her internet, so we might come back to her. But I just wanted to get to Purna first because India is ahead of us in time, so it's quite late there, and I didn't want her to stay up too late. Purna, one more time, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, but you know, my internet connection is not doing, is really playing crazy. So I don't know whether I'll be able to present my case, you know, because sometimes the signal is breaking and I can't just hear. So I'm ready with my stuff, but so I just wait for it to stabilize, I guess.
Okay, you can see, I mean,
yeah.
we can hear you pretty well now if you wanted to try turning on video and showing us what you have. Or we could.
Yeah, okay, I'll try.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you can see here, I have this mosquito bat, which I have, you know, taken out as suggested, and so this has stopped working. It is no more sparking. So so I don't know which part is working and which is not. I don't know. So I need to check it here so that I know what to do with it. So this is my problem. So I'm here sitting with a multimeter, as you can see. So if you could just let me know briefly, because I am not sure how long this internet connection will work. I don't know, it's some system issues there because I'm also running the other platforms. So I don't know if that is creating a problem.
We have a question about the voltage on the batteries.
Yeah. Yes. So I see this whole system, I don't know which one is working and which is not working. So what do I do? How do I go from here? Like, so this is a mosquito bat. I mean, I'll just repeat again. And I have taken it out. I've put it apart, and it has stopped sparking. And so this is a gecko brand, and it's a made in China. So so that's about it. Can you hear me?
Already followed
Yes.
the leads from the battery and tried to measure the voltage there.
Did you hear that, Perna, about measuring the voltage from the battery and the leads?
Yeah. So where should I put it? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you tell me what should I put it on? Which range I should go to check the battery? Should I go to 2 volts?
The batteries, yeah, it's around 3 volts, I suspect. So I don't know what the ranges are.
Okay, so should I put it on 3? Should I put it on 2 or a little more than, I don't know, what should
More
I
than
do?
3 volts, definitely.
20 probably.
So there is no 3 here. See, there is no 3 here.
Go
It's only
high and
2.
then go lower. Go high and then work lower until you get a reading.
Yeah, you got to
If
be
you
on
set it
DC.
too low, you're going to overload it.
Go high, okay, go high, okay.
Yeah,
So
go
I've
high
gone on
and then
20.
Yeah. And be sure that you're on DC voltage.
DC, yeah.
Okay. So DC voltage, work from high to low until you get a reading.
That kind of
So
multimeter may not say DC.
So is it correct now? Is it correct?
We cannot see your hands right
Is
now.
it correct?
Perna, your video freezes. There we go.
Yeah, it looks like you're on a 20 volt scale.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, there's a problem. Yeah, it's 20 volts, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
So should I try?
Well, could you check the adapter that powers this thing first? Because if you're not getting any voltage from your wall adapter, I mean, it's rechargeable, so it's got to be plugged into a wall adapter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need to, the first thing I would do is check to see whether the wall adapter is giving you the correct voltage to charge the batteries, because that's something that sometimes the wire breaks. And that's why you don't get you're not charging the battery, since it did say it's rechargeable. So,
or you might have the problem
Okay,
that
so
you've mistaken the wrong charging facility for that product. It might not have enough voltage to charge it.
well,
so how do I start? I'm sorry, can you go one by one? Sorry, I can't.
well, can we agree that it would be important to check the charging device?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's start there too, yeah.
Okay, so the charger that you're using to charge this unit, it has a plug on the end of it that plugs into the swatter. Is that correct? The charger, where is the charger?
Oh, where is the charger? Okay. Oh, it doesn't have any charger.
How do you
Sorry.
charge the rechargeable batteries?
No, I haven't charged. Oh, you're talking about this?
Yeah.
Are you talking about this?
No.
Are you
That
talking
plugs
about this?
normally into a charger.
Do you have something you plug into the wall to charge up the batteries with?
Yes.
Okay, that's what we want to test first. So we want to plug it into the wall and then take the plug that goes into the device and put your voltmeter on that plug. And that will tell us if you're getting power out of the charger.
So we're going to test the charger first.
But see, I have already taken out this, so this.
Right, but those are rechargeable batteries, right?
Yeah. This
Okay.
this thing.
So there's
I have
something
already taken.
That's fine, but
No,
there's a
nothing
plug that you
here.
plug in that you plug into the wall, right? That doesn't matter.
Yes.
Right
Yes.
now, what the thing that you plug into the power on the house,
Yeah.
what we want to look at first.
Yeah, you can put that piece down. We
Yeah.
need to look at the charger.
The
It's
part
like a
that
cell
you plug
phone.
into the wall.
The power adapter.
No, actually, see, it has two pins over here, which.
Right, but we want to look at the other piece of it.
Well, does it plug? Does that swatter plug directly into the wall?
Oh, good question.
How do you charge it? Tell us how you charge it when you go to charge it. What do you do when you go to charge it?
The battery. Sorry, can I check with the multimeter this particular thing?
Holding it up a little higher. Yeah.
Okay.
So that plugs into the wall, right?
Yeah, that plugs into the wall.
Well, it plugs in
But
directly.
I can't use it like this. I can't use it like this. Can I use it?
Well, this is fine because it just tells us that the wall adapter, the charging circuitry is built into the fly swatter, into the swatter. So the best thing to do is we can't diagnose this anymore as far as the powering goes, but we could check the batteries now. So it's probably okay to check the batteries now. Unless that is this okay?
Plug it into the.
Yeah, okay, I see what you got now. It wasn't clear how it worked,
Yeah.
but we could
So
see that
what
the
if she
device.
plugs it into the wall and puts her meter on the batteries?
You could do that, or just check the batteries at period because now we can check the batteries.
Right.
So you got two wires. Yeah, you got two wires coming out of the battery. I think one is white and one is brown. Maybe. Did you see? If you aim, face the unit to the to us so that we can see the batteries again.
Is there a way she can turn off our video so her bandwidth is less congested?
Okay, so those two wires, you'll put your meter on those two wires. It doesn't matter which way it is because the meter will read the voltage regardless. It'll either say plus or minus. So if you're on the 20-volt scale, put it on the 20-volt scale.
So this jack is correct, right? The way I put the jack. This is a ground. This is the ground.
Yeah, it just use the two probes onto the battery wires. So it doesn't matter which one is which at this point. Just hook it up and we'll see what voltage it reads. Yeah, where the wires contact the circuit board. So you just poke the probes onto the trace where the batteries are soldered to the circuit board.
We also have a check the probes are plugged into the right places.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
So it shows, I don't know, it shows -1. I think it's not correct reading.
That's okay.
That's-
Yeah, we don't know which lead is plus and which is minus on the battery. So
Yeah.
if you got a reading of 1 volt,
Yeah.
Is
okay.
it set to -20 or is the multimeter set to 20?
Yes,
Volts.
it's set to 20. It's set to 20 volts.
Well, if you're reading 1 volt, that's clearly below what you would expect from 2 batteries. So,
Things over here.
so it doesn't. It looks
So
like the battery.
what do I do? I mean, is it correct? I don't know.
Yeah, one volt is it's just saying that the voltage is very low. It's in fact it's so low that
Yes, yes.
it's abnormal. It's not normal.
Okay, okay.
If there are lithium batteries, then they're dead now. Eh?
Yeah, the
You
batteries.
have plugged it in to recharge it. It hasn't been charged.
See, I see some crack on the battery. I don't know if it is working. Can you see?
It's. Does it say?
Is it
writing
gone bad? I mean,
Does it tell you what voltage that is? How many volt? What does it say on it?
Yeah,
Something.
yeah.
How many V?
yeah, it says 600 mAh.
Okay, that's the current.
What
It's
about V? Something V?
something D. D or E.
No, V is in
V. Okay, it's V. It says 4V.
4 volts.
4 volts.
No, sorry. No. Sorry, 2.4. 2.4. Sorry.
Okay,
It's
so
2.4 V.
2.4 volts.
so it's probably nickel metal hydride batteries, nickel metal hydride or NiCads. So yeah, there's 2
something.
cells there. There's
Yeah.
2 cells there. It looks like 2 cells.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I see there is something broken. If it is working, it's broken here.
That's probably not a problem.
That's
Okay,
just
that's not a problem. Okay.
Yeah.
If you put a 3 volt, just a 3
Okay.
volt regular battery.
3 volt. There is no 3 volt here. It's
Oh.
2 and then 20 on the.
Yeah. 20 volt scale's fine. Should be able, if that's not reading at least 2.4 volts, then you know that one of the 2 cells is really it's not being charged.
Mm.
Either that or the batteries are bad. So we don't know at this point.
Okay.
Is there anyone that wants to? What I think might also help, Perna, with your bandwidth is turning off the virtual background. I see that there's some other clues and hints in the chat. You should take a look through the
Okay.
chat.
Okay.
And then I know it's late there
Okay.
too, so if you want, you can write in the chat, can someone help me in a breakout room? And I can put a few repairers who might have some more ideas. If anyone has any more ideas, you can write in the chat, like, want to try this out in the breakout room.
Okay.
And we can go into a breakout room, which might also
Sure.
with the video and the bandwidth. Okay, so we have a few things. Please read the chat
Okay.
as well, because there's a few more
Okay.
advice in there, and then you can see, okay, do I have an idea? Do I think this is repairable and I should keep going? And if other repairers also have an idea and think that this should keep going, then we'll do breakout room. I just want to check now. We're going to move over to some sewing machines. I want to check, because I haven't found Megan in the participants, but she had signed up. If there's a different name for Megan from Denver, if I'm missing her, or if I skip over her for now. I don't see anybody raising their hands or unmuting themselves. So I'm going to skip to local, to Malmö here. We have Celine with something she needs to repair her jacket and a hole in the jacket. So the first one is a sewing repair, and then we're going to go to some sewing machines. Can you unmute yourself? Remember, everyone else should be muted.
Yes, hi.
Great.
Do you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I
can we
wasn't
see you?
sure. Yes. Do you want me to show the jacket right now?
Yes, and walk us through what is the problem and what did you try to repair already?
Okay, just a second, please.
If anybody else has their projects, pull them close to them right now.
Right. Get ready to present.
All right.
We're gonna go to sewing machines next.
I don't know how much we will be able to see here, but wait. Where is the hole? It's a little bit dark. So, okay. Now I got it. Here is a hole in the jacket. Can you see that?
Move it to the left, I guess.
To her right.
Other way.
Right. You're right.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So
Back just a little bit. Just a tap.
Like, oh, I'm just making it a little bit bigger so you can see it more clearly.
What material is this jacket?
I'm not sure actually. I guess it's synthetic somehow,
Okay.
but I don't know. It's not written anything in the jacket.
It's softer, right?
I just have this mark, and that's the only one.
Nothing in the side panel of what because everything has to have a content.
Well, it's just having this one in the end of the jacket, where it's, here, where you can see how you can wash it and what you can do and not do with the jacket.
It should indicate what material.
But it's not written really. Or wait, yeah, maybe here. Polyester and yeah, it's just that. Polyester. Polyamide.
Okay.
So
Is it
it's
a hole or is it at the seam?
It's just written 100% polyester or polyamide.
The hole, is it in the middle of the fabric or is it where the two pieces of fabric come together, which is what we call the seam?
It's where the two fabrics goes together.
That's good.
Here.
It should be fairly easy to repair. You could even do that with a needle and thread to just stitch it together because it's at the seam. It should be very easy to repair.
I have actually tried it by hand before, but it didn't work.
What happened?
Well, it lasted for maybe 1 month, and then it opened up, like now, practically. But it was just a little hole first, and then it became bigger and bigger.
Did it pull through the material then, the threads?
Sorry?
Did the threads pull through the material then? Why did it become a hole again?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know so much about sewing at all, so that's a problem.
Celine, I'd suggest that you do that again, but start a couple centimeters before the hole starts and end a couple centimeters after, and be sure that you knot the thread so that it doesn't come apart.
Also, I would say look for weakened fabric. If the fabric itself has been kind of stressed or pulled.
Yep.
In the
I'm gonna show everybody real quick also what we see.
Yes, that's the
here.
second
so
part.
That's the second part. Yeah. Let me get it down so we can see also the hole.
Yeah, that's another hole.
That's a different hole. All right.
Well-loved jacket.
So we have a few things with this jacket. We have a zipper at the bottom.
That zipper has to be totally replaced because it's a separating zipper and you cannot just put it, you can't just put a new pull on.
But
Really?
you can change the ends of it, right? You can
No,
buy.
it's really hard to change the ends of the separating zippers because she's missing the stopper.
Right.
Well,
Actually, we don't know that from the picture. It could be up the zipper.
But there's a stopper that should be at the end of that separating zipper, and there's not.
Mm.
Right.
you
You
can,
mentioned that's missing, right, Celine?
Yes, exactly, and that's the problem also because I don't want to throw the jacket. I like it so much, but I didn't know how to do with the zipper or the hole.
For the zipper, at least Amazon here sells these ends that you can snap on, and you can super glue. I'm trying to find a picture of it. I'll post it right when I find it. But you can,
Yeah, I think I heard about something like that.
Zipper ends on a separating
there's a
zipper.
bag of these.
You're going to need to replace the zipper.
Yes, but is it possible, like he just said, with
And here's the hole on the inside.
With separating zippers. Separating zippers, when they're missing their bottom stopper, it's really hard to find an exact bottom stopper. It's better just to get it replaced.
Yes, I agree.
But it looked like the stopper was there. If we go back to that other.
No, the stopper's not there.
You sure?
Yeah, the stopper's not there.
Well, what's the thing down below there?
Sewing and just have them do the
Yeah. Okay.
So do you still have the pull thing that puts the zipper together as you're pulling it up?
It looks. I would try to show you a little bit. It looks like this. This is the end.
The stopper's still missing, and so unless that stopper's there, it's going to keep on opening up every single time she wears it.
Right, but one of the things she could try is what you do is you sew back and forth over so you make sure the zipper's on.
Not for a separating zipper at the bottom. It has to have the stopper, or it will continually come open.
Let me just finish explaining. So if you slide the zipper on to the side that it's supposed to be on, and then where the stopper is missing, you take something like quilting thread and sew back and forth a bunch so that you've basically made this lump of thread that it cannot go past, basically just like a stopper. And then see if the zipper will work when you connect it to the other side. If it does work, then you throw some super glue over that quilted thread to basically make a stopper. And you really don't lose anything, because if it doesn't work, then you're still replacing the zipper in the end, but at least you can see if that would work.
That will stop you from losing the slide, but it will not keep the ends together.
That's correct. That's exactly what it is. It won't.
That's true.
She would have to step into that jacket or pull it over her head.
Doug is sharing a screen to show us something here.
And what Doug has sent might be a good idea to try also.
Did everybody see it?
What is this?
Do you see it?
Yes. What is it?
That's the end repair kit. I got it from Amazon, and it has two pieces. One go on each side of the one go on each side. So this is the end piece. Has a stop, and it has groove on whoops, tiny piece. Has groove. We can
only see your screen, Doug.
What's that? use the share screen. You're looking at the share
We
screen?
can, yeah, we can only see the packet. We can't see anything you're holding up.
Okay, so you can see, where's my screen? Wait, I'm losing it.
It also depends on what size your zipper is. If it's a sports zipper, if it's a 5, a 7, depending on what type of zipper it is, those may or may not work on your current, your zipper, unless you can identify what type of zipper you have to Amazon. So
Zippers come in many different sizes.
Right, and they sell different sizes, obviously, but how do I get back to the screen? Hold on.
Those are very cool, though.
Yeah, they work. I mean, you super glue it on, you cut out the old pieces, and you super glue it onto the ends of the zipper fabric part, and then that works.
Okay.
How do I get back to the screen? No idea.
You have to
Go
stop
video
sharing.
option.
Stop sharing.
Stop sharing. Okay. Stop sharing. I'm not even seeing. How do I stop? Sorry.
It's not easy to know how it works.
But
Maybe exit full screen and then share screens at the bottom in green.
okay, okay, got it. Sorry. All right. Stop sharing. Stop sharing. Okay. Am I back?
I think it's done now, Doug.
Oh,
okay.
Or whoever. I think we're back.
Yeah. Okay.
I would just take.
Yep, I was able to do it. Okay, so we have the zipper issue, which, you know, we had a couple of suggestions that may or may not work with it, but could be tried if it's substantially cheaper than replacing the whole zipper. And it sounds like, Celine, you're not going to be replacing the whole zipper yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, but well, actually, it doesn't matter if I can change a little bit part of the zipper, or if I have to change the whole zipper. I can do either of these alternatives. I just didn't want to change the jacket.
Yeah. And then the holes, do we have some suggestions for the holes?
Yeah, it was the sewing part.
Can we see
So would it help to put a fabric patch underneath it to back it up? These are self-adhesive iron-on patches.
Do you know of these, Celine, that you can find in a sewing store in Malmö? They have like they can be sticky or iron-on, and you can to add strength.
Yes, I think I know what you mean. And I guess sewing shops or stores could have that.
Yeah, Amazon sells it too, of course.
Yeah, but I think when you go to the shop, you can kind of see the variety, and it says for what kind of material, so you can really match it, and also color-wise. So you can get an idea of exactly. And there are several sewing shops in Malmö, so it should be okay. But we can also give more suggestions if we want to hang on, if you want more help in a breakout room as we go to that. We're going to go to a sewing machine now and take a look at the sewing machines. Do we have Lan and Ingrid here? Let's see.
Thank you.
No worries. Good luck, Celine. And yeah, you can also use the chat for any more and check what people have been writing in the chat, because there are a few more suggestions in there. So yeah, don't leave without seeing the chat. And if you have more questions, put them in the chat and we can put you in a breakout room.
Yes, I might, because I didn't understand everything.
Yep. So we can have follow-up.
Okay, thanks.
Leonard.
Hi, Jessica. How are you?
Hi, good. Oh, you're ready. Wonderful.
Yeah, ready. So, do you want me to start? Okay. So, this is a Husky Star E10. This was a hand-me-down, and we used it sparingly up until the spring when we started to try to make some face masks. It was very stiff to turn this wheel, and we eventually opened it up, moved some parts, and it started to work a little bit, and we finished 3 mounts, and then it started to smoke, at which point we shut it down. So the interesting
Great,
thing,
Leonard, just a moment. I think some people are finding it hard to hear you. Are you close to whatever is recording it? Because you're coming distorted.
Just speak in your microphone. Don't show us the machine just yet. Just speak in and tell us what's going on.
Okay. All right. So it's the wheel and the motor. It's very hard to turn this. Sometimes when you step on the foot pedal to engage the motor, it doesn't start, and you need to actually turn the wheel a little bit to give it a little bit of a boost before it starts to sew. When we were doing some sewing, we sewed for maybe half an hour, and the motor started to smoke a bit, and we stopped using it at that point.
Lubrication.
Could be a bell.
I've worked on a whole bunch of sewing machines, and what I'm finding out is that they do need to be lubricated, and that's the key thing. And there's a lot of places underneath that you have to get in and lubricate, and that seems to be the predominant issue with sewing machines, is that people don't realize that there's a lot of bearings in there, and I've worked on them, and if you don't get every one of those bearings, there's going to be one there that's really tight, and the machine is not going to come to life. So what you do is, I recommend a lubricant with some Teflon. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is made by was it Liquid Wrench. And then what I do is get yourself a syringe and like this, and you can file sandpaper to tip off so you don't poke your finger in there, and then fill this syringe with the oil.
Not the best thing for sewing machines. It gums it up. You want to use lily white only. You want sewing machine oil.
Sewing machine oil. Absolutely.
No liquid wrench. That stuff gums it up. You want to use lily white sewing machine oil specifically. It's a different type of lubricant.
I completely concur with this opinion.
And Leonard, you know, I'm in Oakland also, so if you need real help, I can always do you in person, help you in person and talk you through it.
Okay, yeah, we had started this project to make face masks for ourselves and hopefully produce some more. And all the stores were closed at that point, and they were saying, you know, don't order stuff online. So I just used some bicycle grease on some of the gears that well, that's what we have. So that's what we have.
I
So
can
you
get
know.
you lily white too. I can get you some.
Okay.
Also,
but you gotta get inside. Like the bottom cover will come off, and you gotta get inside to where all the bearing surfaces are, because you know if you only do, there's like the belt that comes from the motor goes down into another bearing surface, and all of those bearing surfaces need to be lubricated. So whatever you use, you got to get them all. So that means you got to take the covers off. The covers come off very easily. It's not rocket science to take the covers off. I mean, you could take all of these covers. It's only 1 or 2 screws, maybe 3 screws, and you got the covers off, and then you can get inside and see where all the shafts are and where all the bearing surfaces are, and then you lube it, and then it'll come back to life.
I would also add that you really need to make sure that it's clean in there. So if you get in there with a nice brush and wipe away the dirt and accumulation and lint that's come off the things you've sewn in the past, it really does help the oil to get into the right spots. And I do agree, you do need oil. Don't forget a new needle as well. That can also help your machine along, so it's not like beating its, you know, that piercing of the needle isn't beating into the, you know what I mean? You'll have a better time of it.
Does the tensioning, does it have a tensioning device between the motor and the drive?
I don't think so. It's a very bare bones machine. It's actually, I managed to get it all apart, the cover off of it. It was actually quite a challenge. As I said in the chat, the manual states that if you have any lubrication needs, you need to take it to a store or a professional to have them do it. And
yes, they've designed
based on my experience trying to open up the case, I can see why, because there's like hidden screws, and it's you have to do it very stepwise. And you know, I consider myself very fortunate that I got it all back together again. And so yeah,
lubrication.
It's a cheap machine, I think, is basically what the bottom line on this is. But yeah, in the future, I will get some lily white and use that for the lubrication, and get it to a professional to actually have it opened up and service to the extent possible.
Yeah. The thing about going to professional, they're going to want to charge you $150
right.
to service it. And I've heard over and over, sometimes they'll just out and out tell you that's worth more than that's more money than the machine is worth.
That's why you should take CC up on her offer.
Yeah.
All right, 10-4.
Yeah. So you have a local,
And
a
one
local
more
repair.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys could
two
be in the
actually.
parking lot, not touch, and trade masks back and forth. Okay, you got this. You can wash your hands after. Okay, seriously.
All right.
And there's
One
a
more
few
thing
more
about
suggestions
cleaning.
in the chat. Yep.
One thing you can do is take out the bobbin case and make sure there's no scraps of thread underneath that. And there's tiny little grooves that are spiral grooves there that sometimes get clogged with lint. Those are for the oil to travel, so those need to be cleaned out as well.
Okay, thanks, Paul.
Okay, so there's as I mentioned, and also a few more suggestions in the chat. So take a look at those. If you have any more questions, either ask them in the chat or stick around for breakout room. We're going to move to another sewing machine now. I just want to check because I had two on my list that I haven't seen in the participants list, and I just need to make sure you're not here under another name. Is there a Megan from Denver here, or a Jill from Berkeley? Jill Churchman or Megan from Denver? Speak now. Okay, otherwise we're going to go to Pat, and we can always come back. Heather. So Pat, are you ready to show us your sewing machine? Where did Pat go? Pat, I see you. Are you able to unmute yourself? I can unmute you too.
I saw that I thought Pat had a FOF. I saw that I think that's what they had. If she's having a problem with the needle going down, make sure she doesn't have a bobbin on the bobbin winder.
Yes, it is a FOF. And I'm trying to unmute her. She's in here twice, but I do not. Okay. And I don't see any other sewing machines besides Pat's. So we'll let Pat have a couple more minutes to get that sewing machine for us to look at. In the meantime, we do have an espresso machine, which may have some, we'll see, any similarities. Elon, do you want to share, are you ready to share your espresso machine repair question?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep, we hear you. Just tell us a little bit about it and what you've done so
great.
far and what you need to do. Yep.
Sure. So this is a 1979 Lapavoni machine. It's a lever-operated espresso. So this is basically a big boiler, and then there's a little group head that goes in the front with a lever, and you basically just use your hand to push the water through the coffee. So, so this was pretty rusty, pretty bad shape, and I wanted to sort of disassemble it and sort of de-rust everything. And so I was able to get most of the parts off, but then I got really stuck, and that's why I contacted Fixit with one of the flanges. So the bottom here has the little boiler piece. And if you take that off like this, so you can take the boiler piece out, and then there was one flange here that connects the boiler to the base plate. And this was super rusty and gross. So I wanted to disassemble this so I could put it in vinegar and then electrolyze and everything. And this was giving me a hell of a time, this flange, this piece over here. So luckily, actually, last week I was able to get it off, but it required it required me to learn a lot of things. So I thought it would be an interesting discussion nonetheless. So I tried soaking it with WD-40 for several days. That didn't seem to work. I know there's some controversy about what oil is better at penetrating these joints. And anyways, that didn't seem to work. I was using a punch tool to sort of hammer at it for a couple of days. And I started bending the metal because it required so much force, and that didn't seem to work. But then eventually my neighbor offered to use his torch. He had a really high temperature torch, and that seemed to eventually, that with punching, eventually got it to start moving. So I was able to finally get it to move. And now I have some other challenges. So I realized that the chrome is very soft and started peeling off. So I'm thinking about how I can restore the chrome plating. I also had a couple of little pieces that I'm having a really hard time finding online. So there's a little gasket between the base and this that is sort of like a flat O-ring, but it's heat resistant, and I can't find it anywhere online. Some people, I guess, just buy a whole slab and try to cut it themselves. But I was curious if you guys knew of any good places where I can find heat resistant sort of rubber or Teflon pieces, because of sort of where I'm stuck now. So once I get this off, there's these really old sort of fossilized rubber pieces that I'd like to replace. And that just makes sure that the heat doesn't travel from the boiler to the base, I think. So got this off. And then there's these really dirty little gaskets that I'm trying to find. And these were kind of damaged while I was trying to get it off too. So probably need to be replaced. But yeah, that's sort of the story. Curious if anyone has any ideas.
One thing that came to mind was whether you can find a gasket from a canning jar. They're, the glass jars, they use these rubber, I've seen these rubber gaskets. I don't know, it's just came off the top of my head. So they probably come in different sizes, for canning jars. So it's supposed to take high temperature because, a canning jar, I think, so you may check. That's the only thing I could think of at this moment. Sure. Or maybe automotive, in the automotive shop, there's different seals that are used in cars, and that would be also at high temperature.
Right.
So silicone rubber takes up to 600 degrees, and so silicone would be a good thing. And if you can't get gasket material, you can actually get a tube of silicone and put it on the surfaces and join them together and basically create a gasket that way. And the silicone is high temperature.
Oh, I see.
You can also buy all kinds of gasket material online. The Master Car probably has like 50 kinds of different gasket material, and then laser cut it. Especially if you have the old one, you can use that to get your design, and then laser cut it, and it makes really nice gaskets. And they come in, there's gaskets are used all over the industrial world for all kinds of things, and there's hot water just isn't that hot compared to a lot of other things.
It needs to be a food safe
Right.
material, because if you use anything, it could contaminate the food. I mean, contaminate the liquid.
Yeah, so probably silicone.
That'd be
Yeah,
great.
just squirt some silicone or RTV in there, and it'll probably be fine.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a good idea. I saw some silicones are food safe, like the lubricating jelly too. It's,
Yeah, the thing with
Great also is
the silicone, you want to squirt some in, put it together, but don't tighten it all the way down until the silicone cures, and then finish tightening after it's hard, right?
Right. Gotcha. Sounds good. And what's the name of you said you can buy slabs of something and laser cut it?
Yeah,
I think we can put it in the chat too, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you just go online and search for gasket material, you'll find thousands of it.
And there have been a few suggestions already, so I would say to go back through the chat and a few links to places, and then if you still have questions, we'll be breaking out into breakout rooms, so you can also say, I have more questions, put it into the chat, and then we'll put you in a breakout room with anybody who thinks they can.
Sounds good.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Yep.
Thanks, great. All right, let's try to see Pat one more time. Pat, are you ready to tell us about your sewing machine here? We got it sorted. Otherwise, we are just about ready to go to back to Benoit, who we'll talk about from last week. Unless Pat is able to get the video sorted. I don't hear.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay.
So tell us about it. Yes.
Okay. Let me turn my camera around and you can see what I have. This is a 1970 Pfaff 1212. It has no computers on it. So it's an old 1970s work dog. It's a wonderful machine, but it's only sewing zigzag now. It doesn't sew straight. Wait a minute, what's wrong here? There's my Pfaff, and here's the control. And if you turn it to straight, it comes out looking like this, zigzag.
Beautiful. You're going to have to go into the top and see when you turn your knob, you have to see what's moving inside.
Okay.
Does that have, it looks like, does that have cogs in it?
I have a cam that's cracked, but you see the cam here? Let's see. You see the cam and there's the crack. But
yeah.
That's just for zigzag. It should work. It should work straight. You know, it's not turned to.
Okay, if you turn your knob back and forth, watch where the arm goes. When you turn your arm, that dial in the front, turn it back and forth and see which arm is moving in there. When you turn your dial to select if you're going straight or zigzag.
Okay. Let's see. I see something moving. It's attached to the, you know, the place where you put the thread in?
Yeah.
Shaft? That's moving it's moving back and forth. All right, here we go. All right. So something is moving, but not the cam.
And so does the finger
in old sewing machines? I need an expert in 1970 sewing machines.
That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to see. We need you to move over towards the knob that you turn to select the straight or Beautiful. Stop right
Okay.
there. Can you
Yeah.
can you select the straight and zigzag stitch again?
All right. Wait a minute.
You see that dial?
Back out just a little bit.
Back up just a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
And
All right, it's on straight stitch now.
it's on
The biggest
straight
stitch you can get.
And can you move to the right a little bit? Just a
Move
little
to the
bit for
right.
me. Oh, nope, to the left, I guess then. Thank you. Keep on moving and then do that again. Okay. The shaft, the closest shaft to that's going up and down with the elbow, the first one towards you. Okay, so set it back at watch how that moves and see if it's moving things all the way down. You just follow the movement of it going all the way down and how it's touching the cogs. So
I'm watching it move.
yeah, but follow it all the way down. Keep going
Right now it's on zigzag.
It's on zigzag. Okay, can I see the front of that knob again?
Yeah.
Okay, hold it still. Can you move to the left again? A little bit, no, yeah, right there, stop. So the middle of that knob is just the positioning of the needle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And where is that needle positioned? Because I can't see where your indicator line is.
Oh, I see. Yeah, there's a little white dot.
At the top?
All right, I can move that. And
I can't
put it
see
on,
where you're positioned. You need to hold your camera down a little bit more because I can't see the knob while you're doing that.
Oh.
There you go. Okay, so right now
what am I supposed to do?
Okay, so right now is that positioned so your needle's in the center position?
Right.
Okay, so your needle's at the center position. And turn that knob, the outer knob, can you turn it all the way? No, the inner knob stays there.
Turn
the outer knob all the way to right. Where's the indicator line for that one, for the outer knob? Is it the same dot? Because right now that you're in zigzag stitching right now.
Right.
And is that the straight?
Okay, I'm going to go back to straight stitching, right?
Yeah, go back to straight stitching. So
Okay,
everything's
now
on a
it's
straight stitch now.
It's supposed to be on straight stitching, but I didn't feel it move. Didn't feel any click.
Okay, can you now
there.
try rotation on your machine and see if it's doing a straight stitch?
Would you repeat that?
Can you try to see what you hand move your needle up and down and let's see if it's doing a straight stitch right now?
Yeah. So you want me to practice to see what kind of sewing we have?
Just let me see. Yeah, please.
Okay, got it.
You're going in a straight stitch.
Okay. It's on straight stitch. Not even, it's stuck.
It's stuck. Okay, because I don't think.
Yes, I think the bobbin thread was messed up. I'm pretty good at solving those kinds of solutions, so
But
just give me one
I'm
minute.
trying to see where your solution is so I can see how it's operating.
Camera.
How you,
I have to hold the camera with my teeth. Can you see anything? No.
I can't see what kind of stitch it's making.
All right, wait.
Pat, even if you turn it by hand,
you can turn it by
is
hand.
the machine? Yeah. Well, is the needle going side to side, or is it going up and straight up and down?
It's going side to. It looks like a zigzag stitch. Let me show you.
Okay. But now is it still doing that right now? It's still creating a zigzag stitch.
And then we'll do some sewing and then we'll know.
You just.
Okay, ready, set, go. Oh, it's going straight. How did you do that?
I need a noisemaker. Peter?
All right, so how did you do that? So I can do it myself. It's sewing straight. I mean, the tension's not right, but I can fix that.
You have the manual?
Camera. What?
Do you have the manual?
There it is. Straight. I
Just
have a
refresh
manual.
yourself. There's some,
and I
sometimes,
know about
sometimes
tension.
you get off from sewing and you kind of forget things. And I know that I have to go and I always have to figure out which direction my buttonhole stitch always has to go. I have to pull out the manual to see how that, which direction it first sews in. Give your manual just a real quick read again. And it's just great for refreshing.
I have it here. Luckily, I still have the old beat up manual.
Hey, that's the best thing.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's great. You did it.
Great. Okay, so that was our fastest, what we could call it, a fix.
That was a good fix.
A really good fix. Yeah, great. We had also a fix from last virtual repair cafe or event. We had a screen door that got fixed real time. But a lot of our repairs take more than one time because we have just the short time. We have an ongoing repair here as well. Ben, are you here? You want to tell us what happened with your waffle maker from last time? We got about halfway. We just want to hear where you are with that repair, and we can continue with that repair. But I'm also going to be putting people into break rooms because we've got Celine with a few more questions about the sewing of the jacket. She wanted to clarify some things. And we still have Perna here, who's been charging her mosquito bat. That we can help out, and some of you may have been here last time, but some of you were not. So just a quick introduction to Benoit and his waffle maker. Are you there, Benoit?
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Welcome back.
Thank you. So I have this waffle iron that I showed at the last session, but I made some progress. So. The problem is that when I plug it in the wall, it starts to heat up for about 30 seconds, and then it triggers the GCRI in the basement. So I was thinking of some kind of a short circuit. Last time I could only remove one heating element, but not both. So I insisted, and I could remove both heating elements. I could also unplug this. Can you see these plugs?
Yes.
Yep.
So they were connected to the heating element here and here. So I'm left with I think the core part of the waffle iron. Just want to say that last time we established that the power cord is okay, is fine.
So Benoit, do you still have your multimeter?
I have my multimeter right here.
Yeah. So I think last time we were thinking about measuring the elements independently, so separate from each other. So I think that's what we should do. So if you take one element, it doesn't matter which one, we'll have to test both anyway.
Okay.
And you set the meter to some high ohmic mode. So I think, do you have 200K or something?
I have 200K or 2000K.
Yeah, try 200K as a start. And then you should measure one of the pins of the element to the outside of the element, and do that for each side.
Okay, so one of the pins?
So yeah, but I'm talking about the heater element.
Okay, sorry.
So yeah, it doesn't matter.
You're thinking that the element is shorting to its the metal frame its the conductor in the conductor is shorting to the outer frame, and that's causing you short. You think?
Well, it's not really a short. It's so there is leakage current towards the ground. So it's not really a circuit breaker that's tripping. It's the GFCI that's tripping.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so from one of the pin to the
metal frame, yeah.
Okay.
Trouble is, when it happens when it gets hot. So, this is going to be a little bit tricky.
Yeah, I get it. But last time we saw, so let's just say, okay, that doesn't do anything. Can you turn the probes around? Yeah, I've seen some weird things. Okay, so this is strange, right? It's measuring negative. So this is what we had last time as well. It's like it's charging a capacitor somewhere.
Yes.
And can you take a look and see if the other heating element has the same behavior?
Yes, sure. Okay.
Okay, and now turn it around again, the probes. So yeah, this one doesn't do it. So
yeah,
it's really weird. I've never seen this before, but something is odd with that first heater element. Do the other repairers agree?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
In fact, you could probably run it with just one heating element, and then you'll know which one is the bad one for sure. Right? I mean, you could just leave one of the elements not connected, and just see if you can reproduce the failure with just one heating element, which is probably what'll happen.
But what should I do with the wires?
Oh, just put some just put them, insulate them so they don't touch something. Put some tape around it, or just temporarily.
Sure.
And then I never saw something like that either.
Yes, this was the mystery last time.
Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. Here's something that is worth checking. Some appliances have been recalled. So what you may want to do is just go on the web. And I know in the States we have where you can go in and look at the recalls. And I found that there's some devices that ended up getting recalled for something like this. So if you go in and check the manufacturer and the model number,
it's an old appliance. I would say it's like maybe around 30 years old.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's just a tip anyhow for anybody else that's listening. I was working on a dehumidifier, and sure enough, we checked the number on it, and it was recalled because it came from China, and it was causing fires. So it's just an interesting tip to keep in the back of your mind when you're working on something new. But that's pretty old, so yeah.
So Benoit, I would for sure mark the one that had a weird reading. So put some tape on it and said like, this one is probably faulty.
Yeah.
And then you can try the machine with only one heating element in it. But as Howard is also saying, the elements, it's possible that the element itself has gone bad. That's why you have this weird reading, and that's why it's not working. And you can only replace that as a whole element, and it will be very hard to find it. You can take a look on the internet if you can find for this typical waffle iron, but as you say, it's 30 years old. It's possible, you never know.
Yeah.
But if that is the issue, I don't know. Does anyone know, does your waffle iron still bake properly with only one element installed? Probably not, right?
Well, you'd have to turn it over. You know, you'd have to take the waffle out and turn it upside down. You know, I mean, it probably would, you know, it's like.
Yeah,
We have these, the Belgian is recommending that we make a Belgian waffle maker here. It's just.
Yeah, so my idea is you can check if this is indeed if that element is broken,
Okay,
and if it is broken, then that's yeah. If
Well,
that is
if you did an ohmmeter check on the element itself, I mean, was there a question as to whether the element itself was heating up or not?
I'm
I
sorry.
guess
What's the question?
The question is, do you suspect that one element is bad other than this problem? In other words, does the element heat up anyhow?
well.
In other words,
In my experience, so what Howard was saying in the chat here is that the elements sometimes they start leaking, but they still work. They still work fine. So I'm thinking it will still work fine, but it starts leaking, and then that's why the breaker breaks. Yeah.
Okay.
but the real
Okay. The only way to cure that is if you can find an outlet that is not ground fault protected and plug it in, then it will run, it will heat up. And what happens is then the moisture that is in the insulation leaves. And so after a while, it kind of heals, but it will absorb moisture from the air again and begin to short out. So it's not a permanently fixable kind of situation.
I need to jump in here real quick. I need to just jump in real quick because we have Celine that needs to leave soon. She had a couple of questions about the advice she got about sewing the jacket. If there's any sewers still in the group that could jump in a quick breakout room just for 10 minutes and give her a few suggestions or clarifications on that advice about sewing, if you could let me know in the chat and I can put you in a breakout room. Thanks. And then we can keep going with this.
I was wondering if there's a thermostatic control device between the element and the power supply.
I think we established that there is something, but I cannot really remember the name of it. It was a thermal stuff something. So
I don't think we should go there. So we've already found out that there's.
Well, wait a minute. Let's look at it just for a second,
well,
okay?
We did this last time, so
Well, there it is. There's your thermostatic control device.
Go for it.
Well, the real test is to put one element on, and if the thing doesn't cause the ground fault to kick off, then you know that it's not anything else except the element. So just run it on one element and see if it survives.
okay, I can do that.
I've actually had thermostatic control devices go bad.
Yeah, it's true, but you can test it just by running one element and see if that solves the if it doesn't kick out, then you know
you know how to test the control device because it might only work under certain conditions.
So to test one element, we need to confirm that it's not wired in series. Otherwise, we'll put too much power on the single element.
There you go.
Well, you're not going to short those two wires together, that's for sure. So the two wires that you disconnected from the element, make sure they're not shorted together and you just insulate them with tape. That's all.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't heat up, then you know they were wired in series.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So just a caution on this. So had this waffle iron been in my kitchen in the US, we would have never blown the circuit breaker because I don't have a GFCI in my kitchen, right? That when my house was built, that code wasn't there. So this is a dangerous appliance as it is. It has a ground fault, and it's great that you figured this out. The only solution is to replace the heating element, and I would replace both of them if they're available, but it may not be worth the money. But, right, and if it's the thermostat, that's probably way too expensive and probably impossible to get. The only chance is that this manufacturer used a standard or common heating element that's used in many products and is still available somewhere.
Sure.
But the fact that you just showed us with that meter that thing is leaking to ground, I would never use that again. Heat it up, whatever. I don't think it's safe. Okay. And we want people who participate in these things to have a safe solution. Hot item in your kitchen next to water, boy, bad news.
I do agree.
Yeah. So see if this heating element's available. We got the. I'm about to go look it up for the model number, and if you find one and they're cheap enough, of course replace both, because if one's bad, the other one's going to go bad, and you'll have many more waffles to enjoy, alive and safe. But yeah, ground faults are a serious problem in a kitchen.
Sure.
Good exercise, though. Good exercise.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love this that you brought this to us, and we got to see this weird behavior that probably would go unnoticed in many parts of the world.
Benoit, could you put the brand and type of equipment on the chat so we can have a little look on it? Thank you.
Yes.
Already in the chat, Joris.
I will just have to check.
I've put it on the chat.
Okay, thank you.
That's something for us to check in the States, because you're right. There's a lot of times when there'll be an appliance that we'll get our hands on, and people, their houses don't have GFIs for that for the kitchen. I don't in mine.
It was an interesting suggestion about reversing the ohm meter. I've never even thought of something like that before. Is that something that you've done previously?
So yeah, what I have had with these kind of heater elements when they leak is that for some reason, I have no idea why, they have some kind of diodic so they only leak in one direction, which is strange. That's why I asked him to reverse the leads.
That was really smart.
Yeah, no kidding. I've never thought of that, and I really appreciate the new knowledge.
Yeah, but I mean, I cannot explain why this happens. I just know it. I've seen it once before, so yeah.
Okay, good.
So electrically, it works like a diode.
Yeah, it's corrosion makes diodes, so that's certainly, you can get a diode type effect from corrosion.
Maybe you could use it to make the world's weirdest AM radio.
Yeah, the crystal detector. I mean, you used to use a razor blade to make a crystal radio, right? Way back when.
Yeah, waffle iron heating element radio. That's awesome. Is this thing
spelled? Get music at the same time.
Yeah. Is this TEFAL or T-FAL? Because there's a manufacturer called TFAL, T-FAL, but I can't find TEFAL, TEFAL.
TEFAL.
Yeah. So maybe.
Benoit, does your multimeter have a capacitance meter?
No.
Because that would be interesting to check whether that defective heating element acts like a capacitor or not.
Yeah, okay.
Well, maybe it's generating a voltage, so you could put the meter on a low voltage scale and see if it's actually got a voltage there. A DC voltage. I mean, if it's got some oxidation, it may have enough some charge from the fact that you use the ohm meter on it, and it'll actually create a voltage.
Most likely, because the ohm meter is using a voltage to check the resistance. Most likely, this very low voltage somehow results in some capacitor-like experience. So.
Yeah, I agree. So what we saw on his meter was actually a negative resistance, which means that there is current flowing in the wrong direction. And that means there is some capacitance discharging through his meter when he's measuring that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that there is something wrong with that heater element, because we're measuring something at least. I'm just not sure if it's a capacitive leak, which is possible, but I think we can still say there's something wrong with that element.
Olivier, last time also we said that for the coffee machine that we repaired, it was the rubber, the kind of isolation that they put at the end of the element, that this went bad. And this was creating the problem in that heating element of the coffee machine.
And how did you figure that out? Did you remove the rubber or?
In that coffee machine, there was a website that I found that the guy was explaining it, and it was saying that this normally was the problem that this isolation, it was a red isolation, kind of a rubber that you put it by heating something. And then it was saying that this was, in his view, that was always causing the problem.
Yeah, I don't know if that can be the case on Benoit's. But even then, I think it's still the only solution would be to replace the element.
Yeah, in that case, it was also the only solution.
And I've looked around a bit on the internet, and I can't really find replacement.
Well,
there's a Belgian website, but it's not available anymore. The part.
Yeah. I found also the element, but la pièce épuisée, donc out of stock. Yeah.
Sorry to jump in with a naive question, but is it possible that there's some hidden damage, a crack or something at the terminal end of the element where it hooks up to the wiring? And if there was, would it make any difference?
Yeah, so I think that is a solution. That is a possibility. Yeah. Benoit can have a real good, fine look at the element itself.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it will be visible, if that has happened.
Very, very thin substrate of long cooked waffle turns into a capacitor diode strange device. That's I don't know. I can't find this product anywhere, but probably the English websites aren't working for me, right? So Benoit, I would go searching and
okay, I will.
Products, yeah. I mean, Tefl has a website, but it's probably not showing me the products that that you have.
Okay.
Side, Benoit, please.
Yes.
On the other side. The white element that is next to the metal, what kind of material is that?
This is plastic.
Plastic, okay. Because in the case of the coffee machine, it was kind of a rubber around that place.
Okay, no, not rubber.
Is it maybe shrink wrap tubing?
I would think it'd be ceramic because it's.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It may be ceramic, but
yeah,
maybe.
Because that's pretty high temperature.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Does the terminal wiggle at all? Is it loose at all? If you hold on to the element itself, so the element doesn't move, grab the element and the terminal, and then wiggle it. So maybe hold on to the element from the back side, and then wiggle the terminal.
I didn't understand what I should do.
So just hold the element itself so it doesn't move, and then grab the terminal and wiggle it and see if it's loose.
Yeah, a bit.
But the black part, hold that so it doesn't move.
Okay. No, okay.
And I'm just going to jump in here for those of you that are observing too. The waffle iron has tended to go on too. So we can, if you're happy to keep going with this, then you're welcome to stay. If you wanted to go see what the sewers are giving advice on, I can put you in a breakout room. But also if you've seen a lot and you've learned something, and it's now been an hour and a half. So if you've gotten what you came for, then also feel free that you can now conclude. Those of you that are happy to stay and keep helping Benoit and keep on this mystery of the waffle iron, please stay, and the mystery continues. Benoit.
Okay.
I just got a quick question for the fixers. Are there any ham radio people involved in the fixing today, besides myself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm occasionally, I am operator.
And I can say I can make other breakout rooms if there's something else that you wanted to discuss, but we're only going to be going, you know, as long as Benoit are in the sewers. So yeah, probably another 20 minutes tops, 15, 20 minutes here.
Okay. So it's not moving. It's not moving.
Okay.
And the ceramic piece, so does it look damaged in any way? Does it look cracked? Is there some black residue on it?
No, not apparent. No,
Mm-hmm.
not that I can see. No.
I just found a Tefl heating element on eBay. Can you show us? Can you show me what the heating element looks like the other side, so I can see this the right shape? Huh.
And Wayne,
That could no. This mine has a bend in it. Bummer. All right, I put a link in the chat, but there are some parts.
Okay.
eBay.
yeah, in the link that Hans have sent, there is the part number, but I can find also something available. It's TS-171 170.
Ooh, look at that.
Okay.
The heating element is so simple. Is it possible that there's something that only controls one element and the temperature control that's amiss? Because there's almost nothing to go wrong with the element itself, right?
Well, I would think...
Except it's a leakage problem. So the element, the wire inside the element is actually leaking to the metal metal surrounding the actual resistance wire. So.
So maybe it's been dropped and damaged the wire inside? Or
Well,
just
the insulator is calcium carbonate and it absorbs moisture and water from the air. So actually disuse is the enemy of this because it causes it to conduct electricity.
So that's why you want to plug it into something that's not a GFI?
Yeah.
But which is, of course, not safe.
But it's not a permanent solution. All it does is kind of dry it out for a while and then it gets hydroscopic. I have the same problem with a sauna I have in my basement.
Perhaps you could heat it and dry it out without using the element itself. Like you put it in an oven and you
I was thinking
you bake it out.
Too.
Yeah, or even a heat gun.
That could work, but it doesn't solve the problem long term.
Okay.
So even if he keeps using it?
If you kept using it, sure.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. If he puts the entire metal plate in his oven.
Yeah.
Yes, sure.
For an hour on 100 degrees or so, or 60 degrees.
Okay.
Heat it up really good.
You won't get it too hot.
Yeah, you can heat it up to 200 or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that thing probably gets red hot when it's working.
Yeah, but you need to make sure that the moisture can easily escape. Huh?
If you do that, then you can check the resistance again to see if it's still conducting electricity. If it isn't, plug it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this meeting is being recorded.
Yeah.
That's because I came into your breakout room.
Aha.
Are we back?
Just to see how it's going, because we thought we were going to wrap up in about 10 minutes. Is that okay for the breakout room?
Yes, at least it's okay for me.
Okay, and you all know how to get back from the breakout room?
No, how do you get back?
There is a button at the bottom that says leave room when you need to leave the room. Yes, and you can come back to the main event where they're still going with Benoit's waffle iron, or you can come back and just to say, hey, and I put the next virtual events information in the chat too, so you know when that is. It's out of Boulder next week, actually, or yeah.
just a question. These recordings, are they available afterwards somewhere?
Yes, yes. So there's also a Google Groups where we have it, and you also then have Repair Cafe Malmö's email, Celine, so you can just email me on that, and I can send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, thank
So,
you.
Yep. No
Go,
worries.
Celine, you can
so-
do it.
Thank you. So this was much easier to talk to you like this,
Yeah.
because
Then on the main
in the bigger group there was many people talking in the end, or well, and also I didn't understand half of it because I don't know.
It's fast, I think, in the big group.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also it's not my native language, so I don't understand everything.
Right.
And then when it goes fast, it's even less.
No, that's great feedback, Celine. Thanks. Because we were thinking of experimenting with being just fast and what do you have to repair and going straight into breakout rooms. And maybe that is a better form.
So I'm very, very glad for this part anyway. Also, it helped me.
Wonderful.
So thank you very much.
Thanks for coming. Yeah, and just email us and I can send you. Okay, we can leave the room.
To all
Everyone
the
can leave the
sewers,
room.
thank you. I'm going back now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Checking.
I'm back.
So I can see quite well because I'm not the speaker, but I count on you to tell me. So you want me to move the?
Oh, yeah. Boy, it's a bit hard. If you're measuring the negative, if you put the probes as you did before, where you got the negative resistance measurement.
It was correct. Benoit, it was correct.
Tip the meter a little bit too, because it's leaning too far forward for us to read it.
Yeah, it's kind of blurry.
Okay, that's better.
Okay, I'm trying to find a stable position. Okay, like that. Can you see him?
Yeah. Okay.
Switch the leads.
Yeah.
Of course it does.
Wait, what?
You fixed it. Yeah.
Yay, fixed it.
It is a loose.
Oh, there you go.
no.
Oh, there.
Coming back.
Push them really hard to get through any corrosion on the metal surfaces. There you go. Bouncing around.
Yeah.
And then,
Slowly
you
dropping.
need a third hand and just sort of move the heating element or the terminals, just sort of wiggle them and push on them. See if any mechanical movement changes the value at all. Yeah. Does bounce around a lot.
Can you take the element completely out of the chassis?
I think I could. Yeah. I think I could.
Maybe that will be a clue.
Do those clips need to be isolated from the chassis electrically?
I think the point of the clips is that the outside part of the heating element is grounded, right? And
yes,
that the actual heating wire that the current is going through is insulated from the rest of the chassis.
Right.
Oh, right. So there's no electricity going through the outside.
The outside of that should be at the same. There should be like zero resistance between the outside of the heating tube and the frame and the the sheet, right? But
Looks like there's a clip at the far end, yeah, over there. How does that go through the other side?
Here we go.
There's a clue.
Ah.
How about the other two?
Yeah, no.
Have we tried actually measuring resistance between the terminals and the outside of the tube?
That's what we're going to get to.
Well, you can do that without having to remove it, because if you just touch the outside sheath and the internal, oh, there you go, you're getting it anyhow.
Okay.
Okay.
So now you want to put your probe on the outer sheath and the terminal and see if you verify that you get the same effect.
The material that's inside that loop is brittle, so you don't want to bend it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's ceramic coating, I think.
Right, calcium carbonate.
So is calcium carbonate the cal in cal rod? Right,
But that's the powder that's inside the tube, right?
yeah, because that was, I never knew what they were called cal rods. I think it was a GE brand name from many, many years ago. Right. But I don't know. All right, go ahead. Let's see what we got. See if we can isolate where the break is.
So between where and where?
The outer sheath and the terminal.
Yep.
In other words, the black portion
on the black part and on the chrome part.
Yeah.
Actually, can you just touch two spots on the outside of the tube just to see if the surface itself is conductive?
That's a good idea.
Here.
Yeah, that should be a 0, right? If it's conductive tube.
What?
So it's an insulator.
So it's insulated, so
no.
Or at least there's a coating on the outside of some kind.
Rub the probes a little bit. Make sure you have a strong contact.
Yeah, scratch them around a bit to make sure you get a good contact.
Yeah, take the points and push in hard.
Yeah, that's better.
There you go.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay.
It's the same.
Maybe it's worn through where the clips connect to the chassis. Take a look at those wear spots.
Yeah.
Can you verify that we still have the same condition where it looks like a capacitor by taking the black probe in your hand and touching the black sheath, and taking the red probe and touch the terminal where the wire attaches?
No, it was the other way around.
Okay.
Okay. Either way, yeah.
So the red here.
No, to the black. There you go. To there, and then and now touch the electric. There you go. Perfect.
Okay.
Now touch the other terminal.
Try
little force.
the other terminal, and then try swap the two leads.
Are we on the mega ohm scale, or what scale are we on?
Yeah.
The 200K.
Yeah, that's good.
Can you still see the meter?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got a couple more tries here, then we're gonna start wrapping things up. So let's see how this
There you go.
Ah, look at that.
Ah.
Yeah,
there it is.
Okay. So doesn't that mean there's something happening with that terminal?
Touch the black wire to the other terminal and see what happens.
Less resistance.
So there you go. Just
wiggle them a little bit.
Just put some duct tape on the where the red terminal is and put it back together. You'll be good for several seconds.
Try moving it to different places.
I'm curious.
Try moving the red one to different places along the line and see if it still happens. Or it's
See if
just
closer to the black
changes.
Ah.
Well, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Whoa.
I have nothing now.
Yeah, you have to scratch through that oxide coating.
Yeah.
Interesting, huh?
Wonder if there's a crack in the white ceramic pieces too.
Yeah. I'm curious what the resistance of the heater is. Can you attach one wire to one electric probe or connection and the other one to the other one?
Like here?
Just see what the resistance is.
0, yay.
But it's on the 200K scale, so.
Can you turn the scale down to a lower reading?
Yeah, like
Yeah, the heater works. We know that the heater works. It just leaks to the outside. But
Okay. Yeah, I figured it did. I just was curious what the resistance was. It's probably pretty low.
So there could be some intermittent stuff here too, right? Like this work,
There you go.
work. Something's wiggly,
Static
something's
changes as it gets hot, right?
Yeah.
So as it heats up, it changes to the point where it's leaked more, right? Enough to set off the GFCI.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's ohms of resistance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we expect.
Benoit,
Is this?
Could you put the red where you had it?
yes.
Yeah, and then the black on the same part, on the same side, but on the outside. No, the other one,
Yeah, on
close to
other
the red
hand,
one.
Near the red one, but on the outside.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you start close to
Okay.
to the connector, and then you move away from it.
Like that.
Yeah.
Should I go back to the other?
Yeah, maybe.
Yes. Go back to the other scale.
So I go back to 200K. So I'm almost at the ceramic piece.
And then move a bit further towards you. Yeah.
Maybe try swapping the leads, because I don't remember which way it was.
Yeah, it was red to chassis.
I don't think polarity enters the picture here.
It does.
That's the weird
Did it
part.
earlier.
That's the really weird part. It's a diode capacitor.
There you
There
go.
we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Benoit, do you have a magnifying glass you can look for micro cracks in that?
I don't. I can't find. Yeah. Mm-mm.
I think he's invented a semiconductor.
I think so too.
That's what we said.
It's a smart waffle iron.
So it sounds like Benoit's waffle iron continues to amaze and intrigue. But I don't know if we have any ideas on what we can do to then keep this repair going, because we have quite a few that have had to leave now. And I think we're going to have to also put this on a to be continued. We do have an event next week out of Boulder. I put in the chat about this, and we can keep going with it, Benoit, because it sounds like there's still ideas. We haven't run out of ideas. We just haven't found solutions yet. So
Yes.
yeah.
I think Benoit needs to find his twin who has the same waffle iron, and between the two of them, they can make one working waffle iron that's safe and enjoy a lovely breakfast together.
Save that old element and make a diode detector for a radio.
Yeah.
Right, right. So you see in the chat about next week, I think it's you, Wayne, right, out of Boulder?
Yeah.
Yep. So maybe Benoit's waffle iron can also make an appearance, because I think the time is okay for us.
Yes.
Here in Europe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it same time, same place?
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to cook that element in the oven to see if we can fix it. So we're going to tune in again next week to see if the element is better.
Okay.
And plug
So
it
we'll
into
let
a
it dry out.
non-GFI.
Good
Make
idea.
some brownies
Ideas.
at the same time while you're heating it up.
Yeah, thank you to those that have stayed and had another go with Benoit's waffle iron. Thank you, Benoit, so much for bringing it back. Most of the other participants have gone, but I think they all got good advice and some help. So we'd love to hear back when they're fixed. So yes, our last event, we had a vacuum cleaner that did get fixed. They got the spare part, and it now dispenses detergent. So well done, everybody. Your advice is being used. Even if we don't see the repair in the event, we are still seeing repairs. So you find about Boulder, you'll see a follow-up email and in the Google groups as well. So the follow-up email will also have a link to the video if you want to watch this all again, the whole 1 hour and 50 minutes that we recorded here. And then one other plug that I'm also going to ask Peter to send out is about some university researchers are looking at motivation for repair volunteers to engage in repair. I put the link now into the group chat. It is like a Google survey. If any of you are interested in helping out with that, that gives a little more insight into how to make repair events more successful, both from a repair perspective, environmental perspective, and a volunteer perspective. But thank you all for making this a great repair event, even virtually. I think myself, I found it so fun to meet all of you from around the world. I'm originally from Colorado, but now here in Sweden, so it's nice to see some Americans and some Europeans meet the Belgians, and it was really a nice international event. So thank you all, and maybe see you in Boulder next week.
Jessica,
Great job facilitating.
could you find out why we can't copy from the Google from the Zoom group chat?
We will send out the chat. I don't know why you can't copy from it. No,
you can select text, but
there's a setting for that enables disabled participants to copy from the chat.
And it used to be too, you could at least copy the whole thing and paste it, but even that didn't work for me. But anyway, if you send it out,
I had to turn on some more security features for this one because we shared the link quite publicly, and I didn't want to put security features elsewhere. So the chat was one of the places where it advises me, for instance, it's a university account, not to file share in the chats in case there's viruses put in there. So that's part of it. But we are going to be sending out the chat as in the Google group as well. So you'll get a follow-up email from Peter, and that comes with the chat text. So that hopefully that will help. But yeah, sorry about it right now in there, but it was also part of the safety feature because we knew we were at 60+ people and we didn't know who everyone was.
Yeah. Maybe you can
to keep you safe.
Maybe you can post the security settings that you set up in the Google, the discussion group, just so we have it for future events that we may host. Okay,
yeah, thanks. I think I probably clicked can't save chat like privately that you can't save the chat, and that's probably the one that is not allowing you to do that then. But we send you the chat. The only other thing is when we're recording, it's also, if anybody's sending private messages, it also records that. So I take those out before we send them because I think people meant for whatever they're messaging me about, put them in a breakout or, these sorts of things. They can be taken out. So it'll be cleaner chat. Not that any of you are vile out there, but more pertinent.
What do you use to edit the recording?
Peter edited the recording last time, and I think it was probably just on a software. I just use a video editor that's on my computer already, so nothing fancy.
Okay.
And then the chat is just a text, so it's really just a text.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Take care, all of you.
Bye.
Very good. Thanks a lot,
everyone.
Bye.
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 It was really fun.
Bye.
Thanks.